Hello, fellow dreamers, and welcome to my space. My name is Nikita and Swan, and today we'll be doing a lunar framework session on the waning gibbous in Leo. So we just came from the waning gibbous, or the disseminating moon, in Cancer, and just to give you kind of like a little recap of what was going on then, essentially. From the full moon, we were witnessing something that was showing us what we desire, or it was expressing some type of unconditional love that was showing us that, this is actually what I want. I actually do want this. And what was happening was there was a softening of the heart. And as we progressed through to the waning gibbous and Cancer, that softening of the heart was allowing us to essentially like claim something for ourselves. It's like I never want to let this feeling go ever again. And what it was referring to was like that feeling of unconditional love, the love that is expressed between, with the Cancerian energy, between, or not between actually, because between means like between two people or two things. It was talking about the love among a group, like friends and family and all of that stuff. So essentially, at the very end of that reading in the waning gibbous and Cancer, we were talking about how no one is going to be left behind. That even if you have a feeling that you would be the one that is left out or the one that's left behind, there was almost a reassurance that no one's going to be left behind. And that whatever you set your desire on for wanting in your life, like a legacy, family, all of those things, the emotional fulfillment between you, among you, maybe it is between you and your partner, and the things that you both would create together. It's like there's nothing that is going to step in between that anymore is actually what's coming up. Anymore. So there's a sense of surety. I'm just shuffling the cards. So that's kind of a little recap for that. So we're still residing under the waning gibbous and waning gibbous energy in general, and that energy, what it talks about is whatever was illuminated during the full moon. We're essentially at this point in time showing gratitude to that energy. And now that it's been illuminated, it's like there is a clarity of purpose. So taking that energy, that illumination at the full moon, and then now pushing forward and knowing exactly what direction we're heading in. So especially with everything that's going on, it's like, it's almost like it feels as though there are a lot of actually like partnerships that are coming together right now. People who were maybe perhaps unsure about something. Right now, everyone's becoming very sure about it. And because of that, it's like, all right, now that I'm sure about this and I have clarity of purpose and clarity of what this relationship, what I desire within this relationship, how I want to feel, in my heart space, it's like, let's take that energy and let's move it forward. And previously we were all in the collective claiming it. It's like we were all claiming what the illumination was. So now we're still in that gibbous energy, but it's transitioning to the sign of Leo. So now Leo is starting to have an influence over this energy. So, I just had a card fly out. I don't know. There's not really a message coming out of that. Yeah. Okay. It was the serpent. Maybe it's a clarification for you, but it's just, yeah. Okay. So let's see, Leo. Let's look at the underlying energy for the waning gibbous in Leo and see what it's going to entail. The underlying energy. You're gonna love this. So the underlying energy in the waning gibbous in Leo is this strength card. And that's so fascinating because it is the Leo card. It is the card that represents Leo. So the underlying energy, I want to say it has something to do with yourself. It's like keying in on self. And if I'm not mistaken, Leo does represent the self, representing like self-expression. So especially with everything that has been talked about recently with the full moon that we just experienced in Gemini, and then now, of course, transitioning into the waning gibbous in Cancer, we're moving into this waning gibbous in Leo. And what I'm sensing here now is that the underlying energy is going to be how you show up to these relationships that are foundational, these foundational relationships. How are you going to show up in these relationships? And what I want to point out here is that however you do show up, that's what's going to be presenting as your strength. It's kind of like everyone in a community, in a sense, has their thing, right? They have the thing that they offer to the community, and that is their strength. It's like without that character, that person offering those skills, abilities, opportunities, whatever that may be, it's like the entire community would be missing something, right? And so that's what I've been picking up on, is that nobody's going to be left behind. And here, what this is showing is that everyone, regardless of whatever their expression is and how they offer to the community, is valuable. Essentially, it's coming through as like they're valuable. Because I often see this as a very highly valued person, the MVP, most valuable player. That theme has been coming through. It's like everyone is an MVP. It's just we all might be contributing in very different ways. And so for the collective right now, this is what's important, is kind of understanding how you show up and how you contribute. So let's look and see where the bridge is and see where that's going to be taking us. So on the bridge, we have the Harpy Eagle. All right, this is an interesting energy because the Harpy Eagle talks about transitioning messages from the water realm into the air realm. And what that's talking about is almost like, well, you know, I usually see the water realm as the psychic realm or the etheric, sometimes even dream realm, things like that. And then the air realm is usually spirit or communication, speaking. So this Harpy Eagle today is showing up actually as, you know, water can also represent the emotions. So what I'm actually sensing here, especially with all that self-expression, is that there's going to be a communication. What's going to bridge us into our overall energy is the communication of our emotions, our interior feelings, and actually transitioning them vocally into the air. So speaking how you feel. So how you show up is, it's like you're going to be speaking it. There's a lot of like vocal or messages. This could even be like little, I'm trying to think of how it could apply like in your daily life, is that it could be like things that people are saying to you, or perhaps like text messages or anything that has to do with messenger energy, especially because it is a harpy eagle. It's a bird, right? So because actually it is the eagle, what that's referring to is that the energy that is being what's coming through is transcribed. Well, transcribing emotions into words can actually be a little bit of a difficult process. You know, there comes a lot of, how exactly do I explain this? How do I express how I feel deep inside in my core? And how can I show up in my relationships with other people and express that gratitude for them being in my life? And then also, you know, kind of tell them that I have so much clarity about our relationship right now that, like, this is what I need to express to you. And it's like that can be a little bit of a difficult process. You know, of course, with that strength card, there comes a sense of vulnerability. It's like needing to be able to have the strength in order to express yourself completely, openly, vulnerably. And with it being an eagle, what this is referring to, I just saw 1111. What this was referring to is that this is a incredibly high vibrational like space to reside within. So, you know, taking it on does require a little bit of strength, but it's incredibly high vibrational. And not only that, it's like also your message of how you truly feel on the inside. It's like that's wanting to transition, like transcribe from your inner depths and like come out vocally to whoever this is, you know? So let's look at the overall energy for this waning gibbous. I didn't take that, but maybe I should. Okay, I'll take it. I was hesitating. So your overall energy, there's a sense of hesitation. And I think that hesitation itself has to do with some type of like fear that's coming up, because when I initially saw this card, I got a fear. I got a little singe of fear, and it was only because I didn't want, and now of course this is me, I didn't want the message to be misinterpreted, or like I didn't want it to be mishandled or something like that. It's coming through as, well, we're talking about clarity. It's coming through as like really wanting to be like understood and not have your message be misinterpreted and, you know, maybe like misunderstood. Yeah, that's really what's coming through. And so there's a fear. It's almost like this is actually like a fear threshold so it kind of looks like we might be coming up on a little bit of a fear threshold when it involves expressing ourselves and how we feel to the community around us. And it's like that fear is, there is a slight like looming of that fear. But, you know, I often actually talk about this Death Mother card as a connection, actually. It's a connection that is so close to you that it's kind of, it talks about like having a telepathic connection. Like the connection is so entangled, like quantum entangled, that you can actually receive telepathic communications with each other. And that's kind of what this harpy eagle is referring to as well, is that communication, however it looks on the surface, it can be felt between you and your partner. So that's fascinating. So there's, in a sense, there's almost like a reassurance that's coming out here about that however you express this, obviously, words are not going to be able to express the complete depth of how you feel. But because you are so entangled and you've claimed it's really coming through as like relationships or person or things along those lines, like somebody that you want to build a legacy with. It's what it's referring to is that however it comes out on the surface, they are also going to be able to feel what you are expressing. It's coming through as like that heart expression is felt more than it is like received hearing wise. I mean, it is received. I sometimes even talk about how like everything that he's saying is like there's earbuds. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like a cord that links their ears, like earbuds or something that you would like put in your ear, like a headset. And that's actually kind of like what this is referring to, because what it's coming through is like they are hearing you. Not only are they hearing you and your expression, but they're also feeling you. They can feel it in their core, because there is an intrinsic link between you and your community or your people, anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be just one person. It can be, you know, a community, multiple people. And so that's what this is talking about, is that, you know, it can feel very vulnerable on the surface because you're having to, it's almost as if you're having to transcribe your feelings, right? Your feelings into words, and then actually, okay, now that we've got that down, now we have to express it. And, you know, that requires a lot of strength. But there's almost a sense here that maybe we as a collective might not see it because it's underneath the surface, especially during this waning gibbous, is that whatever is being said is actually also being felt as well. So that to me is very exciting, because it talks about, empathy, right? And also telepathic communication. So whatever you are saying on the surface, or whatever someone is saying to you on the surface, there's an enormous amount of depth that is coming from this that some of us might be surprised to find out. So with all of that being said, I appreciate you coming and joining me and watching these phases as they pass through our lives. And of course, you know, utilize this energy. I like, that's the purpose of me doing these readings, is utilize this energy to its benefit. So it's like, if you've been wanting to say to someone how you truly feel on the inside, it's like right now seems to be the time where that action would be like supported by the lunar energy. It's like, take this opportunity to use this energy and express yourself to your community, to your person, to, you know, your collective, those types of things. It's like the energy is very ripe for that right now. So enjoy this waning gibbous in Leo, and I shall see you next time. Bye.